going to show you a recipe for stuffed peppers, vegetarian style. I have some water boiling over here where I have put a bouillon cube, and I'm going to put the peppers in that water in a moment just to start the cooking process, because they don't need to bake very long since they don't have any meat in them that needs cooking. So I've already cut the top off the one pepper, and I'm going to do the same with this second one. And you can have as many peppers as you like, so as you can see I'm just making 2 right now. And you could, I hadn't thought of it until after I got this going, you could actually take the tops and dice them up and add them to your mixture. So I'm going to drop these 2 peppers into this water with the bouillon cube so that not only will they cook a little bit, which is what I did the last time I made them, but this time I used the bouillon cube because I thought they were pretty good last time, but somewhat bland. I wish they had more flavor and spices. So this time I'm adding the bouillon cube in that part of the process. So now I'm going to use Morningstar meal starters, the Boca crumbles, or soy crumbles, instead of meat. And I'm going to use a serving size, which is 2/3 of a cup. And I'm just going to mix all these ingredients together very simply and then stuff and bake the peppers. Okay, there's the Boca. I'm going to use garlic, here I go again, a couple shakes of garlic. That was oregano, and this is garlic, a couple shakes. And I diced an onion. It was just about a 1/4 cup when diced. And I'm using bulgur today, though I recommend millet instead. I just like it better. It's more like rice. And if you have seen me use bulgur, millet, or quinoa before, you get your serving size and put it in a small pan with about that much water. And it's like rice, but it's more delicate. So I used just under 1/8 cup of the bulgur dry. I put the water on the stove, got it to boiling, poured in the bulgur. It was only about this much water, and I think I boiled it, simmer boiled, for like 10 minutes until the water was mostly evaporated. So it cooks quicker than rice, and it's healthier for you than white rice, and it's lower in calories than brown rice. So we have the crumbles, the onion, the bulgur. Could be millet if you like, some spices, and I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of just plain diced tomatoes. You don't have to pay an extra 50 cents a can for them to add the spices. You can do that yourself. So some tomato, and I'm going to do a heaping teaspoon of Parmesan. No. I forgot the Parmesan cheese, so now, okay, I'm going to use a heaping teaspoon of breadcrumbs and a heaping teaspoon of Parmesan cheese. And I don't want to cook these too long. I'll just go ahead and turn the burner off. Okay. That was everything. Stir it up well, and you can tell when you look into it, like I'm looking right now, and I think another 1/4 cup of the diced tomatoes. So now it's going to have a 1/2 cup of the diced tomatoes. Oops. That'll look better. And some of this may overflow when I actually stuff the peppers, but that will be okay. Let me go ahead and strain those. So the peppers are partially cooked, but they're not fully cooked. I'm going to put them in this small loaf pan, and I'm going to bake mine in the toaster oven because I'm only using 2 and conserve some energy there. So let me get those hot peppers now. Get out of here with it. I don't guess you can see me, but I'm using a fork to get them out of here. So the peppers have just begun to cook, and one of my peppers is bigger than the other, so it's probably going to get a little more of this stuffing. but pretty much I'm going to divide it evenly. And let's see, we didn't need egg, you don't need to add any oil, things you might have done traditionally with stuffed peppers. These are again going to be something very low calorie. I'll have that information for you, I think, on the video. So here they are in the pan. I'm going to bake them at, see how I winged this stuff? You have to do the same thing, just wing it. Experiment. I'm going to bake them in the toaster oven at about 300 degrees for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and check on them. 15 minutes, 300 degrees, because if it were the oven, I might do 350, but the toaster oven, the heat is more condensed, so I'm going to do 300. And I'll try to show you the finished product. Okay, here's the finished stuffed peppers. I cooked them for at least 25 minutes, and when I checked on them, I thought they were too dry, so I added some water. But as an afterthought, and when you try this, save some of the water that you boiled them in, boiled the plain peppers with the bouillon cube, and then you can drizzle just a little bit of that on top of the peppers when they're baking to give them more moisture. But go ahead and put them on the plate here and then try to zoom in. But these have 110 calories each, and of course you would only need to eat one at a time. They're huge. This is definitely a volumetrics thing. And gosh, from a traditional stuffed pepper with ground beef and rice, you probably have just cut out 300 calories. So I highly recommend this vegetarian stuffed pepper, and I've made them and brought them into work before, and the girls liked them. They were just a little bit bland, so I'm hoping that boiling them like that in the bouillon cube helped that. And just you know, try it out with your own spices and see what happens. The first time might not be the best time.